Hi, Emma. I'm Jillian Carroll with the Sports and Shenanigans podcast. Welcome to Kansas City. Just getting your thoughts, if you don't mind, on the stadium here. And I saw that you made it to the Chiefs game last night. Did you enjoy it?
Keep in mind, we haven't seen the stadium yet. We just arrived.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, the morning started, I went to the under-20 training session out of the training ground. So got the chance to go and see the lovely training complex over there, which was lovely. Always fantastic to see women's only facilities, and to think that when I walked through there, players coming from around the country, from around the world, having a place that's their home, not a shared home. So that was great. I mean, the Chiefs game, I won't lie, I've been waiting to go to one of them for a long time, and Harry and I went last night, and I've said this every time I take Harry to sports in the US, I can barely get him to sit through 90 minutes of soccer, but at baseball, he'll sit the 4 hours, he'll sit the duration of the NFL game, he will not leave with a shirt and a ball and a helmet and a cup, I might add. But it was raucous. I was sat with Daniel Hunt yesterday, and he was teaching me about the history of the stadium from 1972 onwards and the build of the stadium. So I've had a real historical lesson. And I asked him about, like, why are fans so fanatical in this city? Like, why is it so loud? And he said it almost goes against the stadium design. Like, stadiums with roofs should be the loudest, he said, but here, like, it is their absolute world, and this is a massive sports town. So I had the history of his family. I got a great insight into the suite of some of these beautiful arcade games that had been collected by the family over years. Yeah, I mean, I had an incredible time. I remember I had to get back and get up for this morning, but it was it's the most akin European-like experience for me watching NFL games. Even though Hythe is encouraging me to go to a college football game, I'm looking forward to that. But so far, fabulous experience in Kansas. And I will say we did have barbecue yesterday afternoon, and that absolutely comatosed me. That was the only meal we could eat the whole day, but it was incredible.
Which place?
Jack. We couldn't get in the other one, and I had no leverage, even though we were in the Sprinter for the Travis Kelce's family. Even though I thought the Sprinter might have got me some kudos, it didn't. We had to go and queue with everybody else, quite rightly. But yes, we waited over an hour for it. But honestly, a really, really amazing day, on top of doing a lot of analysis.
Side note, I had to bring the players back at halftime, and Emma was like, I'm staying. Go ahead, I'll take an Uber. So she did. More questions for Emma? We can go online. Go ahead, Mr. Tannenwald.
Thank you, Aaron. You should ask Mauricio about his recent first experience with college football. He had quite a time at it. But I wanted to ask you about the quick transition to this game and the quick change of opponents, perhaps styles, and how much that on its own is going to be a lesson for some of these players who are going to someday play in a World Cup and have to encounter something like that on a big stage.
Well, first of all, that's why we do it. I've said it last time, often the biggest learnings come in a loss, but also tactically you get the chance to reflect on between one game and next and make the tweaks that are necessary. When it's a completely different style of play and a new opponent in a new environment, that's another test for us. But that's why we want to play such a diverse a group of opponents all the way up until qualification next year. So I think it's fair to say they've been consistent under their head coach in terms of their style of play and the way they set their team up without going into too much technical and tactical stuff. We've worked through more small group unit work. This time we gave them longer because these meetings could run for about 2 hours straight per small group because the players love them so much. But we're as prepared as we possibly can be for the first training session. So I'm expecting a build on what we've done. And as I said last game, how we played the last game is the starting point. It isn't the end point, it's the starting point. Like, that's the base level I expect for us, and now it's finding room to grow within that.
Pardeep, go ahead.
Hi, Emma. I know you said, like, over the course of the year that I think July was sort of the last touch point for you in exploring the goalkeeper pool. Is that timeline still something that I guess feels accurate to you? And how have you evaluated the goalkeepers that have played so far this camp?
Well, I think they've had one game each. Sometimes it's really tough when you have just that. I think game one, we struggled in our build-up. That was clear. But as a team, we struggled. It's not about one player. And in the second game, we did much better in the build-up. But we have hindsight, reflections, analysis to be able to do that. And we tweaked things that perhaps put goalkeeper in a better position for the second game. So that's the learning in that. We need to just keep developing their experiences, and that's what we are doing. The World Cup qualification is not until next year, and my job is to keep developing the group to get closer to that. At this moment in time, the three that I hear are the three that are the most likely to keep going in that direction, but there's no certainty or definites, but just that these are the three that we think are in the places they should be.
Go ahead.
Back here, Daniel Sperry with the Kansas City Star. I'm just curious, you've had some time at the facility earlier today, you have a stadium like this. How important is it to have club facilities for these teams that are specifically for a women's team, for the Kansas City Current, and what kind of a difference does that make?
Well, first of all, I've met Angie Long and spent some time with her in September. What an incredible family, and what they are doing for women's sport and women's soccer in particular in this country. I think they're leading the way with some other clubs, but to be around their vision, not just purpose-built facilities for women. That's one thing, but it's continual investment, whether it be in their academy team, whether it be in facilities at the training ground, whether it be, I don't know, just even seeing the number of KC trucks around this place. It's nice to be in a hotel where you have a countdown clock for the next KC Current game. Like, you don't see stuff like that. Normally it's, for men's teams. So I think they're doing a great job of making sure that there's merchandise available in shops across the city, that there is a representation. That involves investment, and they should be celebrated for that. And I think being here shows how important it is to us at US Soccer to support our partners, and KC are definitely a team that are certainly leading the way in the US, and it'll be great fun to see these fans that Claire Hutton, Michelle Cooper, Lola Bonner have all been telling me about in the last 10 days.
You touched on the investment, but I just wanted to ask a follow-up there. Should that be the standard, though, across the board for women's sports ownership, especially in the NWSL?
Well, some people might think you're asking the wrong person. You're definitely asking the right one, and the answer to that is absolutely. Said it a million times. We have been denied fair access to our game globally, and being able to create the opportunities for women to build. This is the thing, you have to invest in it over a period of time, and that sustained investment creates stability, longevity, and equity in that. So we have to keep investing. And yes, across our pro leagues, we have to level up within that. But I think it's right to give Kansas City their flowers because they're doing a tremendous job.
In the back.
Hello. Greg Eklund for Kansas Public Radio and NPR, and welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you.
Just wanted to, you a moment ago shared what you have been told by the likes of Michelle Cooper, Lola Bonta, and Claire Hutton.
And Ali Sentnar.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you share your thoughts on each of them representing the U.S. women's national team?
Wow. Okay, let's start with, should start with Lo. The team got to meet her dog yesterday, and I know that brought a lot of cheers internally. She is someone who, I remember having this conversation with Vladko about her. She's been a constant in this team in terms of performance and delivery. Always been a player that has sustained her performance game after game, season after season, and is deserving of being in the place to compete to be in this team. I think she has an understudy in Claire Hutton that is going to be a fine centre midfielder for this country. But the development and grounding, both in playing youth national team tournaments, this is so essential, plus NWSL starting for her team, not just one season, 2 seasons, is really giving her the foundation to be able to perform at our level, maybe at a slightly earlier age, but she needs somebody like Lo to guide her, and I think she's doing a great job with her. I think Michelle Cooper is a firecracker that every team needs, that personality. She's dynamic, she gets people out of their seats. I think, especially this season, I think she's adding even more quality in the final third. Something we keep asking of her. There's a reason they've been the most consistent team across the league. And I think in Ali Centre, just coming to the club will... I've been told she's been outstanding in training coming into this environment. But when you come into a top environment, you might not get everything all at once. But if there's one player I know that is determined, no matter the obstacle, no matter the realities of a situation, that will make things happen, it's absolutely Ali Sentner. And I think the quartet that have been driving the standards here at this club, and it's why they are the outstanding team in the NWSL this year.
Jeff Kassouf, go ahead.
Hey, Emma, you touched on the long gap from the last international window to this one, and how it maybe affected you all in that first game. The window after this comes very quickly, and obviously the NWSL playoffs are in between. So, do you foresee a situation where you want to keep continuity in that group to build upon this window, or is there more there to rotation and looking at other players?
I think the first thing is I'm getting clearer idea of that every day. Yes, I want there to be continuity, but I also want to... there was a test for us in the last game, which I think the team passed with flying colours. There will be changes tomorrow for me to see where players also who haven't been given a lot of minutes, where they fall into that. And all I ask is that they play the game that we are developing and focus on improving, not proving to us they're good enough to be here. And I think after this camp, I can only make decisions based off of those that are available. But yes, I think being intentional about how we keep developing a core group is always at the front of our mind. But as I've mentioned before, I'm not going to come to camp to play 2 games against Italy to have someone sit on the bench for 2 games if they could go to Europe and play for 2 games. I might not get all of that right, but at least intentionally I will make decisions to say, actually, this 19-year-old might be better off going here and getting that bank of experience than sitting on the bench. That might be a conversation we have, but we genuinely don't have it until this camp is wrapped up. We have a provisional roster to prepare for next weekend, and we will take next week to analyse and reflect.
There is a U23 camp in Europe in December. Last one goes to Sean. Go ahead.
Coach, thank you for your time today. Locally here on Long Island, we have Gotham. You have a number of their players on your team, both past and present. Portugal had one. What would you attribute that to?
On both teams, did you say?
You and Portugal had one player. You have a number of players that are with currently or previously with Gotham.
Yeah.
What would you attribute that to? Some of them were never in the pool, so to speak, until they were there.
I think he's looking for you to say a nice thing about Gotham.
Oh, just ask. I don't think about like representation of clubs necessarily. I would just look. I think if we're to take Sonnet and Lavelle, you know, they've been two veterans of the game that have produced performances day in, day out for a long period of time. I think it speaks for themselves. I think the nice thing about where NWSL is at is there's been so many more opportunities for first and second year pros. I think that's where it's got younger in some regards. You think about Lily Reel going in as a rookie. I think she had a brilliant season for a rookie. I think Jaden Shaw has shown the importance of setback in career and the importance of almost like gone in one direction, it didn't quite work out, I didn't give up. I kept backing myself, believing in myself. I think Jaden Shaw showed that the last game, like what great steps she's taken to put herself in a better position. And I think we have to really, I forget this, I've been a club coach for so long, but development to me is really straightforward.
I'm sorry, you were muted.
Probably a good thing.
Hold on. How about now? Can you hear us, JT?
Good.
Okay.
No, just saying, one thing I'm certain about in development is it's not linear. It's messy. It's good. It's bad. It's ugly. There's so much that happens. It could be quite tumultuous for them. This is what we want. We need to increase the differences in their journeys and not have this whole attitude of like, oh, they'll come up and they just stay up. Hyphen and I were talking about this earlier. It doesn't work like that. You might bounce back and, you know, solidify where you need to be before you kick on again. And I think the fact that players are coming from Gotham or wherever is a testament to our league. And you know, we want to make sure our players, no matter where they come from, they feel like they're in the best possible places to be able to get to this level.